Hello, everyone. This is Marie Huggins with the Mobility Collective back again today with another Power 5 interview with one of our amazing Black professionals in the global mobility space. Today, I'm bringing to you Dano McCoy, AKA the real McCoy. The real McCoy's in the house. How
All
are you
right.
today, sir?
I'm doing fine, Marie. It's good to be on your program or your interview.
Thank you.
You
Thank you
good?
for joining us.
And you're calling from where?
I'm in Dallas. Where are you,
Okay.
sir?
I'm in Vegas.
You're in Vegas. All
Yeah.
right.
Right.
Well, I appreciate you taking out some time today to join us. And so, in order for us to get started, warm the people up a little bit, let's give them a little information about who you are and where you work and in what capacity, as well as how long you've been in the industry as a whole.
Well, I've been in the industry for over 27 years.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I was a transportation movement specialist in the Army. Uh, I'm the vice president of two Atlas Van Line agencies, Leidos Transfer and Storage, and Bean Moving and Storage. So I'm the
Okay.
VP of Business Development. Um, I live between here. I live in Atlanta and I live in Vegas. So I'm kind of bi-coastal.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah,
And how long have you been in the industry?
I stumbled in this industry in Marie in 1996. And when I say stumbled, I actually stumbled in the industry.
So let's
Uh,
talk about that stumbling. How did you end up in this industry?
well, I was working for Pitney Bowes. I'm trying to make it as brief as possible, but it's very interesting because one door closes, another one opens.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working for Pitney Bowes, and I was good at sales, but I was kind of like burnt out on selling copiers and postage meters and things of that such. And I
Right.
saw an advertisement in the newspaper. It said I as in ink, M as in Mary, S as in Sam, IMS Incorporated, looking for an account executive. So that's an acronym at Pitney Bowes for Information Management Systems.
Oh,
So
okay.
I said, okay. Let me send my resume in. So I
Mm-hmm.
sent my resume in, and this guy calls me like 4 days later and says, "Hey, this is Brandon Collins." I remember his name. He says, "This is Brandon Collins with International Moving and Storage." I said,
Oh, that was the
"Yeah, yeah,
IMS.
that was IMS, Marie." And I'm like, International Moving Storage. I said, hey, sir, I'm sorry. But I'm not interested. He said, no, hold on. He says, I said, I thought it was information management. He said, no, it's international movement storage, but I want to talk to you because I'm looking at your Pitney Bowes sales ability. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you've got all these accolades and awards for being in the President's Club and what have you, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at your logistics ability because you're a transportation movement specialist in the Army. And I would love to talk to you about merging those two skills together. And I said, no. I'm not. I don't do moving. I'm not doing trucks and brick. And so he
Right.
finally convinced me to come down. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I went down to the office and I put my Pitney Bowes blue suit on with a striped tie because that's the way you look. And I went down to the office and I'm like, I see trucks in the yard but I went in the office and I saw computers and things and of such and technology. So I was like, okay. And so he interviewed me and I said, well, how do you sell moving? He said, there's a process to this thing. It's not that people just call in. I mean, there's dispatchers and moving and clerks and invoicing. I'm like, okay. And so he said, there's national accounts out there that you would call on for business. And I thought about it. I said, okay, this sounds kind of interesting. But he said, hey, can you come back in an hour because I want you to meet the owner? So I call a lot of my friends and they start laughing. Dude, you're not going to drive a truck. You're not going to pass it. No, man, it's totally different. It's a process of this thing. It's
Right.
global mobility. And he's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay. So I went back and met the owner and he said, man, Brandon is really hot on you. All your accolades, all your skill, he wants to train you. And he said, but I have one question to ask you. And I spoke to the HR class at Clark Atlanta University and told them the same story.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, why should I hire you? And I know how to handle subjective questions. So you always repeat the question because I didn't have an answer at the time. I said, why should you hire me? Because I'm giving myself time to think.
Right.
And I said, why should you hire me? Why should you hire me? He said, yeah, why should I hire you? And something came from above. It had to be from above. I said, because I'll make you a lot of money. And he said, print his cards. And the rest is history. And I've been in the game ever since. But it was just an epiphany. I said, why should he hire me? Why? Well, he knows I'm a transportation blue special army. He knows I got pitney bowl skills, sales ability. I said, because I'll make you a lot of money. And he just said, wow. He said, print his cards. And the rest is history. I've been in this industry and I made a career out of it. What a blessing.
Wow. First of all, it's shocking because you went totally prepared for a totally different job and only to walk away with not just a new job, a new career that you didn't even know existed.
Didn't know it existed, was just blindsided. And I spoke to this HR class because the professor wanted me to come in because she wanted the new HR candidates to learn what kind of compensation and benefits and what kind of vendors they would be working with. She said, oh, you would be great to come in and just talk to them so they could see, because movement is a part of HR as far as compensation and relocating. And so I went and spoke to them. And they just really just cracked up when I told them, I'll make you a lot of money, which was the right answer.
I mean, I can't think of a better answer. Right?
I can't think of one.
Especially if you're looking to get a job in sales. Like, oh, okay, well, that's the magic answer right there.
That's the magic answer. So that's how I got into the industry. Yeah.
You know, it's something that sticks out to me about that story is it makes me remember the days of finding a job in the newspaper. And so, you know, a lot of things have changed naturally since that time. And so tell me, over the last 27 years or so that you've been in the industry, what contributions have you made that it's a twofold question. What contributions have you made within this space that you're most proud of? And what changes have you seen that are most surprising?
The changes that I think personally that I've contributed, Maria, is that I bring a unique perspective to the industry because I've moved all my life. You know, my dad was military for 26 years, so I moved every 3 years. And so I understand the emotional part of moving. And then the other part is I was trained logistically in moving and transportation in the military. And so I think that I bring a unique perspective because not only do I have compassion, I have empathy too. You know, compassion is me, you break your leg and I'm like, okay, Maria, I'm so sorry you broke your leg. But empathy means that I've had the same experience and I know what it means to take a clothes hanger and try to stick it down in the cast and scratch your leg. So I have compassion, empathy. So I think that's what has made me successful, because when I'm talking to HR personnel who handle relocation, they know that I get it.
Right.
They know that I actually get it. And this industry is up there with death and divorce is one of the most stressful times in a person's life is relocating. And so if you can paint that picture on the canvas of someone's mind that you really understand that, because it's not about how much you know, it's really about how much you care in this industry, because everybody's got to come to the table with trucks and boxes and crews and things. But I've been able to explain in a way that they get it and they know that I get it.
One of the things that I was interested in is what has been some changes within our industry that have been most surprising to you?
Yeah, that's good, because that's a good question. I walked away from the industry for like maybe 3 years and got into another area, totally different from relocation. And when I came back, most business was booked directly with HR traffic managers or whoever,
Mhm.
direct contact. And when I came back, it was more third party RMCs, relocation management companies, that was
Mhm.
running the show. And
Right.
so it was a whole different area because I was used to having those personal relationships with government entities and corporate entities. And so the game had changed. And so, which is expected because it's more technology and there's more processes. And so, but that's what I saw the evolution of
Mhm.
RMCs and more technology and just not bricks and mortar.
Yeah, it is kind of, I'm surprised with a lot of the technology changes that have happened in this space. And here's the reason why. I'm in favor of technology. I'm not averse to technological changes. I know they're needed. My concern was more as it related to how was the shift towards technology going to impact what has long been the foundation of this industry, which is service, right? You can get computers to do all kinds of things, but
Sure.
computers don't have their, the minds, they don't have compassion, they don't have empathy, they don't have these things,
Right. Right.
So that is probably what I have been most surprised at is
Mm-hmm.
how much technology has become a factor. But I also realize that technology is an increased factor in the world overall, period. Doesn't matter what industry it is, right?
And like you said, it creates a layer,
Mm-hmm.
another layer.
Yes.
And, I'm kind of old school, and we're used to being more personal. And it's taken away that a part of the industry to me,
Mm-hmm.
because you and I can't have relationships where you understand where I'm coming from and what I'm doing. And I know you and you know me, and you know that when things go either good or bad, that I got your back.
Right.
But if I'm going through an RMC,
Mm-hmm.
you just relying on that,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes away that personal relationship. So I got to have a personal relationship with the RMC to make sure that your people are taken care of. But then kind of know who I missed the part where I know who you are. I may not
Right.
even get a chance to meet you. And
Right.
so, now for the new people that's coming up, that's okay
Mm-hmm.
because they don't know the other side. But
Right.
I remember when I could get an appointment with you, and me and you could talk.
Right.
And so that's but
Now,
you change,
now not so much.
right, you change with the times. And with emails, you can hide behind emails. And
Mm-hmm.
then, if I tell you it's the way that you receive the email. If I say give me the pencil, or if I say give me the pencil, there's two different terms. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? The context, but you could take it either way. I just said
Right.
give me the pencil, and then you like give me the pencil. What does that mean? Is he
Right.
mad, or is he,
Right. Are
you
you
know?
yelling?
Yeah. So it lacks that, and that's what I, with being old school, you miss that part of it.
Right. So conversely, could you tell me what you're looking forward to? Like, what do you see on the horizon? What evolution do you see coming? Or even if you don't see it coming, then I would say, what would you like to see? How would you like to see this space evolve?
Just as an African American now, there's a whole different perspective. I would like to see, more of us contributing to this space. Uh, when I go to conferences, I can count us on one hand and then still have some fingers left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. And but we don't get exposed to this. This is, a lot of the people that I talk to, they grew up in the industry. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They grew up in the industry. They worked for an agency. They were exposed to an agency, summer jobs or what have you, and so it's an evolution. But for me to be as successful as I am, like I said, I stumbled into the industry.
Right.
And I don't think I'm the smartest guy. I just think I had the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so I
Yeah.
think we lack opportunity. We don't lack talent. We lack opportunity.
Opportunity. Yes.
Right. We don't suffer from talent because I was talented. But if I wouldn't, my boss always says, it's not the fact that I hired you. What if I hadn't?
Right.
You know, he's like, wow, we would have missed all, you know, all
It would have
kinds of,
been, yeah, the business would have been a lot different.
right. You know,
Mhm.
the fact that we got you, you know, and then you were able to expose us to other areas
Mhm.
that we had never knocked on, like the National Council of Negro Women. We are the preferred mover. You know what I mean? They never
Yeah.
heard of that before. The Noble National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives. We're the preferred mover. They never heard of Noble before.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So there's just different avenues. These people move people.
Right. Right.
So
And if there's one
what I
thing
would
that
hope.
I know is that opportunity can breed talent, amazing talent. If you're just given a chance, if you're just given an opportunity. And I really like to hear that that is, you know, something that you're passionate about too, because I think it's going to take all of us to have that common goal and that common vision to make sure that we see the change that we want to see, to make sure that there's another group of mobility professionals that are Black that come behind us. Right. And somehow their road is made a little bit easier by some of the things that we have done and dealt with and put into place for them.
Right. They would be willing to take a chance. You
Right.
know, hey, oh, I know Dano McCoy. You know, he was a you know, after I've gone on and retired or what have you, I knew this guy named Dano McCoy. He was a great, you know, VP. Mm-hmm. Or people like, you know, Hosea and the other people that you've interviewed, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We stand on the shoulders of those who go before us, right. Whether in this capacity or not. They knew they would never see it, but they did it because they wanted the opportunity. Mm-hmm. And so I've never taken the part that I'm all that special. I just know that I was talented and I got an opportunity, and look what happened.
And you're special because you're the real McCoy. And so,
that being said,
to piggyback off of that thought that you were expressing just now, as we reflect during Black History Month, and you know, Black history is history, period.
Right.
When you reflect on history, what has been a pivotal or, you know, poignant point in Black history for you that you would like to share with us?
Well, you know, we all stand on the shoulders of the greatest icon, Martin Luther King. You know, I mean, he was at the forefront with nonviolence and political acquisition. So Martin is our guy. But when I look on Black history in particular, it's just American history. It's just shedding a light on the accomplishments of Black folk and what they've contributed to this society. It wasn't all about slavery, which was so detrimental, but we did contribute. Mm-hmm. We did contribute. You know, we got George Washington Carver and Benjamin Banneker. And so Black history is so important to shed a light that we did contribute to this society, not just on labor, but in skill and mindset. For me, in particular, people always say the real McCoy, which you open up with. But I didn't realize when people said the real McCoy that it was based on Elijah McCoy in Black history, who was a Black Canadian inventor and created a lubrication system for steam engines. Mm-hmm. And so after failed attempts by competitors to make counterfeits of the product, they would always say, no, we want the real McCoy. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's a pivotal moment for me, that when I really realized what because I said, oh yeah, you real McCoy? You know, back in the day, yeah, I'm the real McCoy. And I'm thinking, okay, but I never knew the context
The
and the
origin,
connotation.
yes.
Yeah, so it's Black history.
Yes.
We never would have known it. He had over 57 patents. So Elijah McCoy is the real McCoy.
Yes,
And I use that now as the real McCoy. Now I know what the real McCoy really means. It's a Black innovation and a phrase that's connected to a Black man. Ain't that crazy?
It's not. It's just, it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing for those who don't know. When you don't know the origins of things, a lot of and things sometimes get skewed. Context gets skewed. Stories start changing up, and we won't go down that
road.
We won't go down that road. But anytime you find out the truth, when you're enlightened with the truth, it's that aha moment. And so, it is amazing. And I'm glad that this conversation just naturally segued into that, because you've made Black History Moment even that much more real in what you communicated. So thank you for that. Right. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that I'm glad that you guys put this together, because, they don't expose us, in the light that we should be exposed in. We're not trying to ask for anything more. We just want to be recognized. And, we sit around each other, we talk to each other, and, we say, hey, we just wish there were more of us. And so I'm hoping that global mobility really goes to diversity, equity, and inclusion, because it's one thing just to have diversity, have the brochures with us on the cover, but actually to put your money where your mouth is and walk the walk and talk the talk.
Right.
And we just need to expose young people, because they always ask me, what do you do? If they see me out and I'm successful, I look successful. Sir, what do you do? I said, I'm in the relocation business. They're like a deer looking at a hot headlights. They're like, they don't understand what I'm saying. I'm saying, I move people. Like with trucks, I said, no. I'm in relocation. I mean, we use trucks, but it's more of a process. And they're like, wow, man, how do you get into that? And I tell them the story, but it's a great career. It's a fun career. And you get to see the point A to point B, because no news is good news.
Right. Yeah, and you meet some amazing people along the way, right? I'm excited for the work that we're embarking upon within the Mobility Collective, because if it means that we can help create a new generation of mobility professionals that are armed with maybe some information that it took us a long time to get, right? It will help them to be even that much more successful and productive. And so with that, I want to thank you for taking your time out today. I want to tell you that I really appreciate you sharing some of your observations around mobility and just giving us a little bit of knowledge into who Dano McCoy really is. So thank you for that. And it goes without saying, this has been an amazing series of interviews that you're just putting the cherry on top. So thank you. And to our audience, I want to say a big thank you to you guys for taking time out to even listen. And then make sure you check back, because we'll have all kinds of things in the works. We'll communicate. We'll make sure that we share our social media. We'll make sure we share how to connect with us. But in the meantime, and until then, everyone, have a great day.